Hey people, it is Thursday, July 4th, so happy 4th of July to all of our American viewers out there. The time is 5:27 p.m. and I'm here at Broadview Station. It's been a while since I've started off a video from this station.
This Saturday and Sunday, there will be no subway service on a portion of Line 1 between St. Clair and Shepherd Young stations due to track work. Shuttle buses will run. Check ttc.ca for more information.
Oh yay, more shuttle buses. And in this one, I'm going to be heading out to Broadview Avenue and walking north through East York. I'll head north up Broadview to Cosburn, and then I'll head over to Pape, down through Pape Village. And we'll finish up with a look around Pape Station, where there's a lot of construction happening. And they've closed the bus terminal. A lot of those buses are actually being rerouted to this station. And this is where you'd grab a bus or either the 504 or 505 streetcar. And look at that. They have finally fixed the arrivals board here. That has been out of service for years and years. Good news at Broadview Station. They must have done that when the streetcars weren't operating due to track work south of here on Broadview Avenue. So just south of here is Danforth Avenue. I am heading in the opposite direction. So this is a neighborhood known as the Plater Estates, which is in the old city of Toronto, but soon will be in East York. There's Ryu's Noodle Bar. That place is excellent. So I think the 72B Pape and 81 Thorncliffe Park buses are suspended, and the 25 and 925 Don Mills buses, the 925 being the express, have been rerouted to Broadview Station. There's an 87 Cosburn bus. That's where I am heading, up to Cosburn Avenue. And I think this one will be a little under 4 kilometers or so in total. This is Pretoria Avenue. This is quite the neat cafe. I've been here a few times before. That taxi does not sound very healthy. Rosicrucian Regional Cultural Center with some interesting artwork. Apparently this is a worldwide educational, philosophical, and initiatic tradition that offers time-tested techniques for rediscovering the wisdom, compassion, strength, and inner peace that already reside within a human being. No, I did not memorize that. And I still have no clue what that is or what they do. That's the website description that they give. Or rather, the description on their website. I remember looking that up and making a note of it in the past. But north of Danforth, there is no streetcar service at Broadview. And the Don Valley is just over to the west of here. So I'm not yet in East York, but most of this walk should be in East York. And we should see the number 8 bus rolling by. That goes up to O'Connor. And then it heads east all the way to Pape Station in the former borough of Scarborough. Someone kept their Christmas tree way too long. Looks like it finally gave up the ghost. Supernova coffee. And this street on the left is Chester Hill, and if you follow that to the end, you'll be treated to the Chester Hill lookout. You get a pretty neat view looking over the Don Valley, and you can see much of the skyline. I featured there in a few videos before. And this is Fulton Avenue, so once I am north of here, I'll be in the former borough of East York. That borders Scarborough to the east, Old Toronto to the west, and North York to the north. And it's located north of Danforth, several blocks north of Danforth. There's a sign saying Cosburn 0.8 kilometers away. And it's located between the Don River and Victoria Park, which is well to the east of here. And it's kind of split into two by the Don River. And it was incorporated into its own city back in 1924 after the city chose not to join the City of Toronto. But it functioned as its own city up until 1998, when the megacity amalgamation took place. Sleep Dentistry Toronto. If you've seen some of my recent videos, I've been battling the gimbal on my camera a little bit. It's taken on a mind of its own and started to kind of float around. So I've swapped that camera out. Here goes the 62 Mortimer bus. So there's three main roads that go east-west across this part of East York. Mortimer, Cosburn, and O'Connor, which runs along the top. And of the three, I think Cosburn is the most interesting to walk on, so that's the route I chose. You can turn left here and head down Pottery Road, down to Bayview Avenue. And if you're jumping on the Don Valley Parkway, this would be the way to go. And there's a Dairy Queen. There's a look along Mortimer. I think there's somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 Dairy Queens in the city, but there's only one downtown that I can think of. That's the one in Chinatown. There's a Sobeys supermarket right here. Weekly special, large red mangoes, $1 each. What a deal. So the other side of these apartment buildings must have a pretty nice view looking over the Don Valley. And you'll notice the further north I get, the less pedestrian activity on the street. And the street has just suddenly, or subtly rather, started to bend to the east. There's a 25 Don Mills bus. Dollarama. There's the Abiona Center. Congratulations, Abiona graduates. I think that's an early childcare facility. Whoops. I don't think anyone needed to see that. There's a fair bit of cyclists on Broadview. But no bike lanes. Looks like Joy's Variety jugged milk. Can you even get jugs of milk anymore? Didn't make it. I wonder how they intend you to pronounce that. Z and Z or Z and Z? European Grill and Deli. Coming up in a block is Cosburn, so I'll be making a right and connecting over to Pape. And because this street has been kind of bending to the east, it won't take very long to get to Pape. And I'll head south through Pape Village. But you'll notice much of East York is this suburban style of development. It's a very modern looking home. One that could use a few more windows in that second floor if you ask me. East Side Bridge and Woodbine. Cosburn will take you all the way over to Stan Wadlow Park, just east of Woodbine Avenue. It's another street with a bike lane. And this street is a bit of a mid-rise corridor. There's a lot of apartment buildings. I think these bike lanes have been here for over 20 years or so. It's a bit of a sketchy design over there. Bike lane right in the middle. And I remember reading there's a developer, I see a development notice as soon as I say that wants to tear down these two homes and this small apartment building over there and build a condo on that spot. There's been a fair bit of neighborhood opposition to that. You can see the development notice in front of the property. Often when that's the case, the developer is required to offer units at the same rent, but usually they'll be smaller in the new building and they'll have to pay for their relocation costs in the meantime. I don't see how a mid or high rise wouldn't fit in on the street. There's where Logan Avenue ends to the north. Someone's got their Canada flag out. Today is 4th of July, but a few days ago was Canada Day. That was on Monday. We're 1.6 kilometers from the Lee Side Bridge, 3 kilometers from Woodbine Avenue. Most of these buildings look to be from the 60s. I would date them visually at. Especially that entranceway there with the overhang. That's distinctly 1960s. It's a nice street. There's a lot of shade. It's got bike lanes. There's transit. Right around the corner from Pape Village. There's a lot of good retail. Squirrels eating peanuts. Mercedes drivers who actually signal their turns. My only hang up with living here would be that it's not walking distance to the subway. Someone who likes to get out, go to different corners of the city frequently, but I'm sure for most people the transit access here is adequate. Kind of funny that anyone would be opposed to building a condo on a street that's already full of high-rises. This is probably some of the best density in all of East York. I think maybe Thorncliffe Park gives it a run for its money. So coming up is Pape Village, which runs between Cosburn and Mortimer. There's a wine rack. If the LCBO ends up seeing its employees go on strike, they're about to get a nice uptick in business. Of course, they don't sell hard liquor or beer, but they do sell wine and cider. Here we go. Welcome to Pape Village. Pape Village is a designated BIA, that stands for a Business Improvement Area. And that's an association that most of these businesses are members of and pay into, with the goal of promoting the area. Often when there's big street festivals put on, it's the BIA that organizes it. Guy took an interest in my camera, Elmer's Fine Foods, 2-for-1 pizza. They must have changed their signage. A restaurant called Faux Challenge. What's neat about this area is it doesn't really feel like it's gentrified. It's not full of Starbucks and chain stores. Like these old school variety stores. Danish pastry shop. Zumi's Juicery. There's one of the smallest Shoppers Drug Marts you're going to see. It looks like that one is strictly the drugstore. Brothers Pizza and Wings. And we are at Floyd Avenue. Sign says Salmon Avenue Construction, Woody Crest to Linsmore, June 24th to November 2024. Once I cross Salmon Avenue, I'll no longer be in East York. Do some good people watching on these patios. There's the Pape Flower Market. There's a Greek restaurant. Speaking of which, Greektown is just to the south of here on Danforth. Greektown strongly benefited from an East York policy that didn't permit serving alcohol until the 1970s. That really helped Danforth, just out of here, and Greektown specifically, explode with popularity, as this whole area was dry until then. And banning alcohol just leads to lower property values and increased crime, as ultimately more people than not, don't want to live in a neighborhood where you can't be served. And just over there is Centennial College. I believe that's their Story Arts Center. That's one of several campuses throughout the city. I think they have 7 in total. Charbroiled burgers, fish and chips. Heard good things about that drive-in. Never been there. Like, there is a dog I occasionally come babysit and walk. In fact, that might be where I'm on my way tonight to do. And he gets groomed at that spot, my dog spot. And this construction here, I believe, is part of the Ontario line. That used to be home to a Kentucky Fried Chicken. Metrolinx has really done a number of devastating neighborhoods, expropriating buildings and putting businesses under with the Crosstown LRT. And they're at it again with the Ontario line. I remember living in Seoul when they were building construction, or they were building subway lines, and you'd barely know at street level. There'd be some construction hoarding, but most of the lanes of traffic would be open, all the businesses would be accessible. And the subways, despite a very complicated infrastructure, would be built relatively quickly. But here, they need giant swaths of land, and it takes years and years. This is Fulton. So we are almost out of East York. The street on the left is Aldwych. Actually, you know what? Across from Fulton was Salmon Avenue, and we have left East York. It's back to the old city of Toronto. Imagine living here with all this construction in front of you. Necessary evil, I guess. There's a very popular local bakery. They've got another location just north of Pape Village on Pape. So just south of here is Pape Station, where they've closed the bus bays down, and they will not be open, I think, until the end of fall. That's neat, a mom and two kids on that bike. I think this area is ripe for some intensification. Not only is it right on Pape Station, which serves line 2, but the Ontario line will be open perhaps within this lifetime. But that's the plan, at least. You have all this low density residential housing, which seems rather inappropriate for a major transit hub. But this is a NIMBY infested community. There's currently a proposal for a high-rise right at Pape and Danforth, which is an entirely appropriate location for that, given the 2 subway lines it'll have access to. And people are fighting tooth and nail. But one of the problems with a lot of the new condos going up is they're all studios and 1-bedroom units. So they're built for investors, not people really to live in long term. And NIMBYs have latched on to that argument, but if they were mostly 2- and 3-bedroom units, it would still come up with a new argument against it. There's the bus terminal. You used to be able to walk right through here over to Lipton Avenue. And Metrolinx has expropriated an entire block, which we'll be walking past in a moment. I'm just going to head over to the other side, near the other entrance to the station. And then I'm going to order dinner and come over to this place, Softline, pick it up. Some of the best Greek food in town, and it's very reasonably priced. If you're ordering from them, a little pro tip, call them. It will be cheaper than Uber Eats, and the restaurant will take more, and we'll get a bigger cut. So you save money, they save money, useless middleman cut out. That's if you're picking it up. And welcome to Danforth in Greektown. That's a look west. And just up ahead is an entire block that consists of affordable apartments and a lot of cherished businesses. A Greek bakery was here that went under. A place I used to go to for brunch called Hunter's was right here. There's a local watering hole. And apparently all of this is necessary. Sure what the plans are to redevelop this plot, but I think a mid-rise with retail at the base and affordable apartments up top would be the only appropriate solution to go back into that spot. Or if you're going the high-rise route, it should have ample 2-bedroom units. But if I'm still around in this city when this line opens, there will be a ton of content. So you used to be able to connect to this street from Pape Avenue. I'm curious about these giant tanks. If you know what these are, they say stradenergy.com on them. Let me know down in the comments. A number of homes were knocked down in a hurry right here to the left as well. There's someone taking pictures. This is the Lipton entrance. They've started stationing a TTC employee in this entrance. They're only here some of the time, but that guy just jumped over the gate. But it's not uncommon to see people like passed out with certain paraphernalia on them in the stairwells. It's a hell of a climb down to the subway platform. But there you go, a walk through East York, up Broadview, along Cosburn, and through Pape Village over to a very much under construction Pape Station area. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Not sure if this person knows how to park or not. Probably a construction worker. And if you wish to support the channel, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership down in the description. I have an Instagram account at Johnny Strides, and there is a super thanks button appearing down below if you wish to say thanks that way. Alright, time to order some soup-like and head over and pick it up. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Yoink.